This is I'm already disappointed people who know how to read maps. I don't know how to read a map. I will be so lost. Hey, welcome back to another video. If you're new returning, welcome. So lately I've been manifesting a vacation. Like I just want to travel, and I've been doing research because this is where I'm supposed to go. So I'm not gonna be traveling alone, but the research of like the house, the travel, and all that. I thought this is the best time to kind of make the video on safety tips for women who are going to be traveling alone or as just a group of women. I have traveled alone like maybe 2 or 3 times, but just within the country, but still. So I kind of have experience, not experience, but these are things I've learned that kind of make me feel safe when I'm traveling alone or just as a group with the girlfriends. It's just been like a little bit stressful because you want to go and have fun, but you still want to be safe. The rate of insecurity is so high, especially for women, and in a foreign country it's even worse. And so the first one I would recommend is for you to book your accommodation with a place that is trusted, like Airbnb or Booking.com. I've never used Booking.com, but I've used Airbnb, and the reason why I like to do that is because like, if there's any issue with like the person who's hosting you, you can contact Airbnb directly and they can solve your claim. You are likely not to be scammed because Airbnb, I think they kind of do their background. I hope they do, but I've never really had an issue with like going to a place and not getting to stay because of the issue with the tenancy when I booked with like app. It's better than booking directly like from like, I don't know, you saw a video on TikTok and started to DM them. So for me, because I feel like this is important because you want to get there and really have a place to stay. You don't want to get there and be like so stressed because the person that was supposed to host you is not picking your calls. I think that's the worst. So I recommend, because I usually book with like Airbnb, book with like a site where like if there's a problem with someone you can contact, or if like you get there and it's not what was advertised, or if you get there and there are issues, you have a third party that you can complain to. The second thing is you have to research. Like with the world, there are a lot of things happening. There are diseases, there could be wars, there could be like instability in a certain country or in a certain city. So the best thing is before you go to that place, you just look at like local news. You look like what is that place about? Like you search on the news, you see like what's happening. You look at recent reviews of the place or the people who have visited the place, and like are the people saying it's nice? Are they like having issues? Are saying so you can know like it's safe to go or it's not safe to go. You don't want to get there and immediately you're getting into the city or the country, it's like people are striking or something is happening or there's a lockdown. So you need to know these things before you can. Just Google, research, search the place you're going, look at the local news at the place of the country or the city, whatever. So when you get there, you it's safe for the time. The third thing, which is just like basically with everything I've said, is like plan your trip in advance. So you can be like plan like a month early, a week early, like just as early as you possibly can. And with this, it gives you time to like do all the research. It gives you time to look at the places available to host you, the food, local food, the transport. How are you gonna get there? Is there Uber in the city? Is there? Do you have to use other means of transport? So you have to plan in advance and like save enough. As with finishing with that point of like saving enough, you need to have enough money. So you can plan a budget based on the research you've done. The local food, the housing, the transport, how are you going to get there, how are you going to move around the place, how much you need to pay for the things that are like, I don't know, how they're like fare and transport money and like Airbnb or like the housing money that is like fixed, you pay and it's done. But there is this miscellaneous cost that can sneak up on you. So you need to have like extra money. So as much as you plan your budget, you're like, in this trip I'm going to spend maybe 20k or whatever money you're going to spend, you put some extra just in case you go there and maybe the prices have been hiked or like the food is a bit more expensive or like you paid for this thing you didn't know you were supposed to pay for. And so you need to always have extra money because there's nothing worse like going to a place when you're so stuck you can't move around or you can't eat, you can't even enjoy because you didn't have extra money. So it's better to plan in advance like a month earlier weeks earlier, so like you have enough time to stay. So when you go there, you are within the budget, but you have extra for emergency, because imagine you get there and you get sick or something just crazy out of your control happens. You need to be able to like maybe leave the country or like get your place in a safe place, get yourself up in a safe place, or if you're sick, get to a hospital. You just don't have to like the budget is this and I'm only gonna get this, because you always wanna have extra just in case because stuff happens that is out of our control. So if you're traveling alone, I think it is best to inform other people who you're not traveling because you're going to be traveling alone anyway. So you can share your itinerary with someone who's back home. Make sure you keep in contact, text them. You can maybe do like have a daily check-in, like maybe you check in the morning or just check in the evening after like you're back from your activities, because you want someone somewhere to know in case something happens, someone to be like, we had agreed we'll be texting at 6 or at 7 or before she goes to sleep. So someone somewhere is like knowing is like if something happens and maybe your phone dies, this is another point I want to talk about. Make sure your phone is charged at all times. Don't go out there with like phone low. If you can get a power bank, do that. Yeah, so you make sure you can communicate with someone like someone who's not with you, so they know if in case someone has something bad happens to you, they can be like, oh, we're supposed to talk today, 2 days that we have not communicated, something is wrong. So someone somewhere is looking out for you, even if you're on the ship by yourself. So the other point was keep your phone charged. So make sure you have your phone charged. Like in this era where we are, like the phone is everything. You call, you communicate, you book, you do all that stuff. So keeping your phone charged, make sure you're communicating. You can pay stuff, you can pay for stuff. So make sure your phone is charged. If you need to get a power bank, if you need to have the phone before you travel, just make sure so you're not stranded somewhere and you can't even like find your way, you can't even look on the maps or whatever. So after like making sure your phone is always on, download like offline maps. I think Google has offline maps. If you're going somewhere, you can have an offline map. So maybe like your house is in a place and you're gonna be frequenting around the area. You can like, or maybe you've already made an itinerary, which is a good thing to do. So you know you can download map from like the restaurant to your place, maybe the club to your place, the beach to your place. So even if you get to a place and there's no data, there's no Wi-Fi, you have that offline map and you can get back to where you wanna go. This is I've already disappointed people who know how to read maps. I don't know how to read the map. I will be so lost. If I get there, I think it's the best thing for like someone who doesn't know how to read the map. I don't know. I think I just struggle with it, or maybe I've never like tried. For me, like once you get there, you can like look at landmarks, like if there's a church, if there's like a new building that is bright colored, or if there's like a mosque, whatever, you just get your landmarks and you know like if I get lost, I can walk and as long as I see a church or I see this restaurant, I know I'm close to home. So make sure like if you don't have access, if you get to a place and you don't have access to internet, Wi-Fi, whatever, you have the offline maps if you know how to use it. But if you don't, like me, make sure you get to know landmarks close to where you'll be living. So even if someone is like, if you have to ask someone, you can be like, I live in this place that is close to this church. The local people always know there. So there's another thing you need to do is research tourist camps in the area, because I was looking at like farms. I don't know. There was a tourist camp. I cannot remember it, but it's like when you get there, the tourists, there's common camps that happen to like people who are just new to the area. So if you can research on that, or if you're researching the news on the state of like the area you're going to, you can also research common tourist camps. So when you get there, you're not bamboozled out of your money or your like whatever necessities. So it's important to like know, so you can search like for like big places. They are there. Tourists who have been there can complain about was coming, but more people usually come up and be like, so when you go to the internet, you can be like, okay, so this is a common camp. So if I see someone doing this or pushing in this way or doing this way or doing that way, oh, there's no scanning. So you can be like have that safety protection, or at least you have that knowledge. Okay, and as much as you can Google the news, search the area, know the landmark, plan early, do whatever. it's always important to trust your instincts, because when you get there and you like in a restaurant or in a situation, or even if you get to the house and you feel like this house just feels shady, it is important to trust your instincts. Leave if you can as possible. Try to do ways to protect yourself. Always trust your instincts. If you feel like someone is following you, someone is definitely following you. If you feel like this person is like looking at me like weird, that person is. I think it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to misjudge someone than to like play it low key and end up like in a very uncomfortable situation. That's how I like to play. Like if I go somewhere and I feel like, oh, this person is weird, I can walk away or pretend I'm with a group. It's better than to like be like, maybe I'm just overthinking it, and before you know, someone is following you to your place while you're alone, and now you can't do anything, you can't defend yourself. And with Airbnb, most of them you're alone in the house. Okay, some obviously have like security at the gate, but most, if you get a standalone, it's just you. So you have to make sure you listen to your instincts, make sure you're safe. If it's possible, even know the like where the local police station is, where like you can report stuff. Yeah. So just make sure you are safe and make sure you trust your instincts in any situation. You can also make sure you have emergency contacts, save it by head. So in case of anything, in case of any situation, in this, when you're saving emergency contacts for like your friends who have not traveled with you, let's say you're like in a different country or like a different city, it's important to actually know the local, like the local police, like you can call if there's any trouble locally. If it's Airbnb host, if it's like the security at the gate, if it's like the police themselves. So always when you get there, like know like, okay, so I'm here. So in case of anything, who do I contact? In case there's an intruder, in case there's someone following me, who do I contact? Where do I get to help? It's important to know these details. It's better than like just having someone attacking you have no plans. So I know it's like you're doing a lot, but when you're traveling, you kind of want to have fun, but you also need to be safe. You don't want to be the girl who went and never came back. Like you don't want to be in the documentary. You don't want to like you don't want to end up being the girl that is talked about in the documentary. Oh, she went, she never. No, just make sure you're safe as you're having fun. So I think this should have been said with the first, which is plan your transportation. So like you know how you're gonna get, like if it's like the airport or like the train station, whatever you're gonna go with. Know how you're gonna get from like if it's the airport or the train station to wherever you're staying. Is it by like a motorcycle? Is it by Uber? Is it by like local transport? So know that, plan that in advance. Obviously, you can never plan everything to a T, but it's important like you have like an idea, a vague idea of like, okay, I know this is the local transport I've seen online or other tourists who have been there used. Okay, this is how much it's gonna cost. Be ready for like any price fluctuations. So yeah, so make sure you know how you're gonna get there, how you're gonna move around, like what are you gonna be using to move around where you are you gonna be on foot? Yeah, so always make sure you have those things like already sorted in your head at least. So by the time you're getting there, you're not now being like, oh, now I'm here. Now you have to be worried about how you're gonna get like to where you stay. Now from where you stay, you don't even have an idea of how you're gonna move around because you never really research. So this is the most important time to do that. So if you do all this hard work right now, when you get there, you kind of like just relax because you already know what you're gonna do anyway, how you're gonna move around. When you're traveling alone or even with a group, when you get into the house, make sure you lock it. You never know, like you just never know. So when you get to your accommodation, when you get to Airbnb and you're like inside, always make sure you lock the doors. When you're sleeping, when you just like, oh, I'm just gonna be quick before I leave. The last thing you wanna do is come out and have someone sitting on your couch. So always make sure you lock your doors. That's so important. Anyway, those are the things that I feel like if you're planning to travel alone or with a group, you need to like make sure you sort before you go. So maybe Lindsay can remember all of them. Book the most important ones that I want to recap is always make sure you book with like a third party, because if you go there and this person has come to you, you can always go to the site, complain, maybe your money will be refunded, and you can, even if it's not all of it, you can find a place. So if there's any complaints in the house, there's a third party that can listen to your complaints and maybe make sure you get a new house. I think, I don't know, I just feel like that's safer than going there and looking for someone, or like looking for someone like on Instagram, whatever. That's how I feel like. That's my opinion. Other thing is always make sure like everything is sorted. Like your documents, make sure if you can carry them, if you can lock them in the house safely, you cannot travel back without those documents. They're gonna need your passport at the airport, at the train, whatever, as you leave. So always make sure they're safe with you, or locked in the house. And then make sure like all your travel, like you've booked going, and for the last thing you wanna go is go to a trip, right? Get there, and then now you've had your fun, and now you don't have even enough money to get back. Like, please. Okay, the other thing that is important is make sure you tell someone where you're going, or have a check-in person who like checks up on you like in the evening, so someone somewhere knows you're safe. I think that's important. And then also make sure that you lock your house, you lock your door. And honestly, I want the girls to like go out and have fun and like party. But if you're gonna do it, make sure you don't go and get so drunk, and you also have a safe way of getting back, or just have fun like around where you're staying. I don't know if that can also seem unsafe because you don't know who you're gonna meet there. But if you're gonna do it, just try to like look at your drink. Don't get too much, tipsy. Be very aware, have fun, but be very like sober in a way, because you don't want to go somewhere and like be locked because of men. But you also want to be safe. So yeah, just look at what the situation is. Best trust your instinct in this situation. Yeah, I think those are the most important things that I feel like once you do, you can be safe. And it's not 100% foolproof, but it's better if you like have a plan, and even have a plan for when the plan fails. Yeah, and if you go there, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna visit this place, then visit this place, and then visit this place. So you make sure you have the fun you want. Yeah, but there are people who like to go with the flow. I feel like sometimes when I'm just like this time, I just kind of want to go with the flow. I'm going there to rest. So I feel like there's different types of like people who work here, people who like, we have to wake up at 7, go to this place, visit this tourist attraction, and people who are like, I'm just gonna wake up at 11, then I'm gonna sit by the pool and I'm gonna chill. Yeah, I'm not the person who wants to wake up at 7, but anyway, I kind of like to know, like, I'm gonna visit this place and visit this place and just have fun, because I'm going to vacation too fast, and the last thing I need is just something very interesting, because I kind of want to relax and go with the flow anyway. So I hope as you're traveling, as you are traveling the world, because we have to travel the world, I've not really left the country much, like it's just still Tembaya, Kenya, and I really kind of want to visit all counties. Yeah, so I pray and I hope as you travel, you're going to be safe. You're gonna go and come back, and then go and come back, and go to different places and come back. Yeah, so thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side.